After 2 years of a happy marriage, I suddenly found myself on the brink of disaster. I was going to lose my husband, and in desperation, I decided to play the other woman's game. It was just a few days before our second wedding anniversary when I came home from the doctor's office, carrying the good news that I was going to have a baby. Terry had wanted a child ever since we were married. For the past few weeks, he seemed to have lost interest in me. I could trace his indifference almost to the day he had hired his new secretary, a flashy, redhead. I had seen them at the office together, and I knew that she was on the make. These thoughts were running through my mind as I entered the house and heard the phone's ringtone. "Hello, Terry. Oh darling, I'm so glad you called. I've got something to..."
Vicki. I can't talk right now. I have some people in the office. I'm not coming home for dinner tonight. I'm going out with a client.
"But Terry, please, please don't. Let's have dinner together. You and I. It's important."
Sorry. It's absolutely necessary. It's business and I can't neglect it. See you later. Bye.
Well, I promised myself not to interfere with his business. But lately he's been having so many dates with clients. I wonder, oh dear, I'd better keep myself busy or I'll be getting moody. He wouldn't lie to me. He wouldn't cheat on me like that. But he has been indifferent to me for quite some time. He hasn't made love to me in weeks. Maybe he doesn't even care about me anymore. Mother warned me and I laughed at her. She said it's alright to love your husband deeply, but to always let him make the advances. It sounds foolish to me now. I had a lonely meal and then suddenly dismissed all my fears. The great news I had for Terry surely would bring him to his senses and would change everything. The phone suddenly rang and again broke my train of thought. Maybe it's Terry. Maybe he's coming home after all. Maybe.
"Mrs. Mason, you don't know me. I'm one of the office help. Never mind who I am. I just want to tell you that your husband is having dinner tonight with his secretary at Smith's restaurant."
"I don't understand. Who are you?"
"I can't tell you. I think it's a disgrace. The way Olga has been carrying on, going after your husband. Goodbye."
"Wait a moment." I said wait a moment. She hung up. But suppose it's the truth. I'd never know, because I'd never ask him. He'd only get angry and deny it. But I've got to know. I've got to know what I'm up against. If he's really taking her out, well, that will be the end of us. I still don't believe it, and maybe I have no right to spy on him. But it's too late now. I'm going to go through with this even if I'm going to regret it later. I don't see him from here. I'll have to go inside. So, it is the truth. But I don't want him to see me. It would only create a scene. I'd better go. If I tell him about it, he'll accuse me of spying on him. No. I'm going to fight for him. I'm not going to give him up. After all, I'm his wife. I have all the advantages of being with him in the same house. I'll make myself especially attractive tonight. I won't say anything about the baby. Coldly now I took stock of the situation. I was in love with Terry and I knew that I was not only better looking than Olga but better suited to Terry's temperament, and he had been in love with me once. Maybe I could make him love me again. When shortly before midnight he arrived home. "Hello Terry. You look tired. Can I get you anything?"
No. All I want is to hit the hay. Say, what was it you said over the telephone? That you had something really important to say.
"Terry, isn't it important how I look? You used to think I was beautiful. Don't you like me anymore?"
Look, Vicki. I'm a busy man. I have a lot of things on my mind. I can't spend all my time kissing you. As a matter of fact, Sometimes I think that maybe our marriage was a mistake.
You'd better go to bed, Terry. It's too late to quarrel. I've had a hard day too.
Good night.
I knew with a deadly certainty that if I pressed the matter, he would ask me for a divorce at that moment. I think I realized for the first time how deeply Olga had her hooks in him. I had to fight for time. I was his wife and time was on my side. I must win him back somehow, and without humiliating myself by telling him about the baby. The trouble was I had always been too eager with Terry. Giving before I was asked, anticipating every desire. Later in bed, sleepless, tossing around. And yet, Olga has certain advantages over me. I'm sure she tempts him, entices him, but doesn't let him get very far with her. That's it. Of course. She keeps him reaching, and Terry always wanted the things beyond his reach. She may even get him to divorce me. In the morning I prepared his breakfast, and then went out to water the flower beds on the front lawn. It's the first time since we married that I haven't had breakfast with him. Maybe he'll be annoyed. Maybe.
So long?
So long, Terry. He hardly looked at me. Didn't notice the new house dress. He's got that look in his eyes. He's yearning for another woman. I remember Mother saying, never to let a man walk out on you, walk out on him first. If I could only talk to her about it now. But I can't. I think I know what I'll do though. 6 o'clock that evening.
I called when I came in. Didn't you hear me?
Oh Terry, you startled me. No, I guess I was wrapped up in my thoughts.
I didn't have a chance to phone you. I'm going out to dinner.
Oh, that's good. I had some things for you in the icebox. I'm not staying home for dinner either.
Really? Where are you going?
Please, Terry. I'm not asking where you're going. I'm just going out with someone. I've got a date.
Who with? Martha Boland?
No. Now please, don't cross-examine me. I'll tell you when I'm ready. I haven't any time now.
Sounds very mysterious. But it's okay with me. Enjoy yourself.
I expect to. I know I'll have the best time I've ever had in my life. He's standing at the window watching me. Good. I hope he's suspicious. I hope he's worried. I hope his heart aches as mine does. Drive me to Broad and Main Streets. Oh, I do hope this works out right. I don't even know what to do with myself for the next few hours. He's probably with her again. But maybe he's wondering about me. Maybe not. It's a terrible game, but I've got to play it.
Here's your hamburger and coffee, miss.
Another cup of coffee please. I'll go to the movies. That'll give me another 2 hours. I should have done this long ago. I should have steeled myself to be indifferent to him. Not just give in so readily to his kisses. Not show him how desperately I was in love with him. Guess most girls make that mistake when they get married. They think the game's over. But it isn't. It's just starting.
Where have you been, Vicki?
Do you really want me to tell you, Terry? I was out with a man. Someone I knew before I married you.
Was it Frank Garber? Have you been out with him before? I mean since our marriage.
I didn't say it was Frank. What difference does it make? It's the first time I've been out for an evening without you since the day we were engaged. Let's not talk about it tonight. I'm tired.
Suit yourself. I ate the cold dinner you left in the icebox. I changed my mind about the date.
That's good.
Vicki. What's all this? You've been the most devoted wife in the world. Deeply in love with me. And now suddenly.
Love doesn't always last, Terry. Maybe our marriage was a mistake.
Oh, come on. There's nothing wrong with our marriage that a little tenderness and understanding won't correct. Maybe I've been neglectful. You're beautiful, Vicki. I'm falling in love with you all over again.
Please keep your hands off me.
What's wrong? Don't you love me anymore?
I don't think I do. I think I'm going to leave you, Terry.
You're out of your mind, Vicki. You have no reason. No grounds. I'm not going to let you go.
You can't keep me by force. Good night, Terry. Terry said no more. I knew that he was hurt and worried. I could hear him tossing in bed all night. Toward morning he got up and walked around through the living room and kitchen. I found myself weakening. I wanted to go to him and comfort him, but somehow I restrained myself. When finally I got up and started breakfast, he looked so white and withdrawn that I couldn't go on with the game any longer. Maybe I went a little too far last night, Terry. Anyway, I want to tell you the news. I'm going to have a baby.
What did you say? Why, that's wonderful. Great. Darling, how long have you known?
A few days ago. And I wasn't out with a man last night. I just wanted to have a few hours with myself.
But what about the things you said? About our marriage being a mistake?
Well, I thought that was the way you felt about it, and...
Excuse me for a moment, Vicki. I've got to call my office. Miss Burns, I'm not coming in today. But there's something I want you to take care of right away. Have my secretary transferred to another department, and get me a capable middle-aged woman. I just have to come clean with you, Vicki. I guess I was a little infatuated with that secretary of mine, but last night as I walked the floor, I realized how much I love you, and that nobody could ever take your place.
I knew about your dates with Olga, darling. That's why I invented a phony date of my own, last night. I thought it might.
Well, it did. And that's all that matters. I've been very foolish, Vicki. But I'll make it up to you 1,000 times over.
Don't let's ever mention it again, Terry. Just hold me tight, darling. Just hold me tight.
Thank you for visiting.
Yeah. See you soon.